Hello, Bingies. Welcome to BingeWorthy, part of the Geekish Network. We binge a show to let you know if you should. I'm your host, Rakad, the Newt from the Ville, and with me today, we have Courtney, Johnny, Trey, Travis, and Chuck. We got a full house today. So, Miss Courtney Skywright, say hello to the people.
Hello, hello.
And Mr. Randolph, say what's up to the people.
Yo, what it do?
And Travis, could you say hello to the people?
What it do, people?
All right, and another one of the OGs, Trey, Centel, say something to the people.
Oh, what's going down, everybody?
and the original gangster himself, Mr. Charles Babb, say hello to the people.
Let's get ready to rumble.
May the force be with us.
Listen.
I don't think it is.
Darkness be with us. Today, we will let you know if you should binge watch Star Wars The Acolyte, Season 1, or Season Only. I mean, Season 1. The Acolyte is set at the end of the Star Wars franchise's High Republic era, about 100 years before Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. It sees a respected Jedi Master investigating a series of crimes that bring him into contact with a former Padawan learner and reveal sinister forces. Now, Rodney posts our cast members' ratings for Star Wars The Acolyte. And while Rodney posts the ratings, I want to let you know that we rate the show at the beginning of the podcast to let you know how we were feeling coming into this. Then we have our discussion. And at the end of the podcast, we re-rate it to see if anyone's had a change of heart on their rating. All right, so Rodney, what do we got here? What we talking about? Let's see it. Where is it at?
It's more diverse than I thought.
Okay, so what do we got? Okay, I can't
My
see it.
real rating was this,
Mine was kind of like,
but you can't really put that. I can't expect our TD to find a way to put that emoji in the.
I actually expected far worse.
Did you?
Okay, so
I did.
wow.
That's about what I expected.
okay, that's actually
Yeah.
not as bad as I
That's
thought
about
it
on
was
par
gonna
with
be
what I
either.
thought everybody
But
would vote.
Rakai, yeah, I went Rakai. That's not what I was like, I'm gonna get bullied on.
Okay, so all right, so with that, we came to a 17, so it's a 2.83, so it rounds up to a mini meal. All right.
Because I was
would
ready to
anyone-
fight. I was.
Would,
I
would
was gonna put calm.
anyone like to defend their square?
Oh man, I'm gonna start out defending my square because I've been
Yes, sir.
livid all day. The canon matters, the legends matter, and for them to be in constant rewrite of what fans really know and love we don't know where to go with it. They gave us series and movies all over the timeline with different uses of the Force. And I like the fact the Force is magical, but it just can't be everything when it's situational. They can't just pick and use how they want to use it and when to use it and what it's really there for. It matters because we read the books. True Star Wars fans read the books, read the comics, talk to each other. We debate this stuff for years. And for them to say, we're just gonna change all of it because it's convenient for us. It does matter. And that's the biggest thing that hurts me. This show has some really good parts about it, really good scenes. I talked to Travis that he calmed me down a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, you calmed me down a little bit. and because I was like, this is not what they told me what this stuff was. I thought the Jedi are very, very flawed, but they're trying to be noble. And they turn this into LA Confidential overnight for me. They turn this into True Detectives where Jedi are holding secrets and nobody cares about each other. And I said, that's not the Jedi way that I know. And I understand this is on the tail end of the High Republic. And Travis said something good to me to calm me down. He said Jedi were plentiful. And so they probably didn't care as much. And I realize large populations, people care less about each other. But I'm still thinking it's unique. And I'm just like, where the hell is the High Council the whole entire time? Sorry, I got long-winded there. I'm done. I'm off my box. Let me get off. Where's the hell the High Republic? Where's the High Council? They've always been there. Their problem's always been they move too slow. Where the hell are they? Go ahead, Courtney.
I would like to discuss my swear. I'm really here for someone to convince me, because truthfully, there are a lot of things that I don't really know what happened. Like I watched it, but I'm very confused. So I went in very optimistically, and up until like episode, I would say, how many episodes were there? There were 6 episodes, right?
Eight.
There were 8. Oh God. All right. So up until episode 6, I was with them on the ride. I was confused. I didn't know how I felt, but I was with them. And then it got to episode 7, when one of the Jedi spent the whole episode saying he wanted to go home. His whole reason for mucking up the whole meeting, the whole mission, was because he wanted to go home. They took you from your home when you was a child, okay? This is your job. This is your job.
And
you don't get to complain, and you agreed on it. Nobody likes to go to the like broke places that, you can't get a drink at the tavern. You can't, you know what I mean? Like spend some time doing whatever Jedis do secretly that they're not supposed to be doing because of the vows. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just wanted to go home. And I could not get past that. So I struggle with the next episode. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think this was the same. I don't even know. I get lost. When the little guinea pig tracker is a better Jedi than you are, why are you a Jedi? Because he found you, he found the people, he found everybody. You literally got the whole force. You got the whole force. And the guinea pig, he's so cute. And he was on his stuff. He
Rocket
knew what you was
Raccoon's
doing was
brother.
wrong. You know what I'm saying? The cousin, Rocket's cousin. He knew what he knew you was doing, you was about to do some wrong. And he saved you. He tried. The little guinea pig cousin.
Basil.
He understood. He understood. What's his name?
Basil.
Anyways,
Of
there were
course it's
so many
Basil.
things. So many
Of
things.
course.
And
Basil.
I came in with an open mind. I
Of course.
I want someone to explain to me what I watched and make it work for me.
I can't.
Okay?
I
I'm
can't.
done for now.
All right.
I can't.
I think so. Me, Travis, and Trey were all about on the same accord, maybe for different reasons, but we were right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? We understood there's some good things to this. There's some craptastic things to this. I would love to hear and I know we're running long, Mr. Randolph, since you are at the high end of the spectrum, I would love to hear that.
How
sir.
dare you?
I know. And
How
I thought I
dare
was going to
you.
have to fight here, but you all did come in higher than I expected. And so when the series first premiered, there was just this cacophony of noise of how terrible it was. And, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm a true Star Wars fan. And so I was going to sit it out because I didn't want to bash another live action Star Wars project. It hurts me, right? The animation, they kill it. The live action has been disappointing. And I just happened to be at home and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I watched the first episode and I did not dislike it. And it made me want to watch the second one. And I started watching them and I did not hate the shows. I thought that the action in it was really good. I thought they did really well. I liked the look of it. I liked the special effects. I liked the characters of Osha and May. I thought, it's two black girls out there in the universe. I like the idea of the witches being a subset using the Force. They use the Force according to their community. They had their own interpretation. And a lot of the things that we've always talked about is we're tired of always Jedi, we're tired of always Sith, and we got another alternative point from there.
Okay, can I ask you a
like that.
question though?
Go ahead.
Respectfully.
Go ahead.
If you're gonna use the Force, why would you use it to sing a badass choreographed song? Like, what?
I just thought it was their community.
Doing?
We didn't know a lot about them. And we got away from the Skywalker family. So all of the things that we talked about that we kind of want
at that point.
We wanted to see. I like my space wizards. I like action. I like living in this universe. I did not hate it. Now, with that being said, it was not without flaws. It had them. They were gaping and they were glaring, but I had fun in this world. And so I did not hate this series at all. That's the rationale behind my full meal rating.
I have a question.
Travis?
No, Randy,
Okay.
can I ask you another question, Randy?
You can ask me anything you want to.
Did you like the fact the Force can make you disappear and reappear somewhere else?
I said it had flaws. I didn't say it was perfect. I didn't like the fact, one of the things that stood up, the biggest thing I actually had was them turning the lifesaber red. Like there's a whole lore behind how to corrupt a kyber crystal. And
Just
for
be
her
angry.
to touch it to make it red, I was very disappointed in that.
Can I ask another question? And this is to the group, and then, we'll move on. Did it bother anyone else that the girls were fraternal twins and then all of a sudden they grew up to be identical? Those were clearly two different girls.
Were they fraternal?
They were
Yes.
not the
Yeah.
same.
Yes.
They were not
Yeah.
identical.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they
Did
were
it
not
bother
identical as
anyone
little
else?
girls.
Not at all. Not even remotely. Not
I
even a little bit.
I can be honest with you. I don't think I cared.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with him on that one. Yeah, I just
Okay. Okay.
okay.
It took me out. Thank you.
Yeah. They weren't identical twins. They were the same person, two sides of the force.
Exactly. And yet two
And
different faces.
Plagueis was creeping around the corner like Shaq behind the tree in the cave and got the idea
See,
to
I
make
thought
Anakin.
Voldemort.
Because it goes back. That's Plagueis. And it's gonna go back to him creating Anakin. We're back in the Skywalker line again, baby. Never forget. Never forget.
Never
I thought that
forget.
was Voldemort.
Wow. You know you're not supposed to say his name.
That's why I said it.
Maybe he'll pop up. Maybe he'll
Because
pop up.
I mean,
I find myself in a bad relationship with Star Wars.
Mm,
I keep
it's toxic.
thinking she gonna treat me right this time.
Mm, mm-mm.
And every time I fuck around, I seem to find out in Star Wars.
Yep, you find out.
Star Wars almost single-handedly created like the intellectual property process, you know, where you take your property and you give it to different entities, and then they can build on what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Almost from its inception,
Yeah.
Star Wars has said fuck it to continuity. Because George Lucas said, I'm going to do what I do in my movies, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care. Okay.
Mhm.
And damn if that I don't care hasn't trickled down into every part of Star Wars to the point where it takes someone like me, a diehard fan, to be like, I don't know if I care anymore. And that hurts me on a profound level, like one that I really can't properly like explain, you know. And I will tell you why. It's because when I was a young man and I saw The Empire Strikes Back
Mm.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in a cinema named after a Confederate general. Okay, it was a Robert E. Lee theater. Okay. And in that theater, a little green man told me it didn't matter what color I was. It didn't matter how big I was. All that mattered is to say, I have to have this fundamental belief. And with that, it can take me practically anywhere. And when I say that I use that in life, please believe that, right? And these people who are in charge of this property seem to just not care. Seem to just not care. And that hurts me. I don't know what the hell this was. I really don't. I don't know what this series was about. Like it seems so inconsistent. Yes, the lightsaber battles were amazing.
Mhm.
Okay, they were amazing. I mean, they were clearly next level. And that's great, but that's not you can't just, throw a couple lightsaber battles in there and say, "Okay, we're done." Okay? And the things that they did, which are too many to name, just totally takes any sort of canon and makes the worst canon Cobb salad you've ever seen, where people don't understand what the hell and why. And so to me, I'm looking at this whole show and I'm wondering what the point was. And when you see other shows that we have been watching lately, whether or not it's like The Boys or House of the Dragon or whatever, it shows that you can do, Foundation, you can do sci-fi and fantasy in a way that's serious. And I feel like Star Wars now is fundamentally unserious.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And
Yeah.
so I gave it 3. I rated it what I rated it because like there's stuff in there, but it's on the shittiest plate that I can possibly imagine.
Oh,
Yeah. I have a tendency to come in Go Trey, because I'm gonna be long-winded. Go ahead and talk, Trey. Go Centel.
Star Wars serious? What? Talking about little Ewoks wandering around, wizards with laser swords, people dressed in white armor that can't hit the broadside of a barn, white Jesus, people going around killing and massacring sand people, being revered, and then later killing a bunch of young. Like, when is Star Wars serious? There's nothing really serious about Star Wars ever. It's a show by grown adults made for children that we enjoy so we could turn our brains off. I think we've gotten to this point in place where we put Star Wars on this pedestal that it does not deserve. Have we watched the what is it, Return of the Jedi? It's almost clown shoes. It's, if you sit back and look at it as an adult, it's not a serious project. That's one of the reasons why Star Trek fans laugh at Star Wars fans. It's supposed to be a space where you can sit back, relax, have some fun, and turn your brain off. That's what they're giving you.
But it's not Spaceballs.
No, it's not that.
Not Spaceballs, but it's like Space.
But this reverence that we have for this franchise is starting to get a little ridiculous. It's a little over the top. It's fun. I get it. Are we going there? But I think everybody wants Star Wars to be like the new Game of Thrones, and it's never been that, ever. Not in episodes 4, 5, and 6, not in the prequels, not in the sequels, not in the live action. It's a popcorn movie. It's a blockbuster project. This is not Game of Thrones. So I think people have these unrealistic expectations. Now, was this show a 10 out of 10? Absolutely not. It's got more holes and problems than a little bit. But it is not this heaping piece of dung heap that everybody is claiming it to be. I gotta side with my boy Randy. It's entertainment. You go in there to be whisked away. You go in there people hold on to these laws as if George Lucas came off of Mount Ararat with tablets that said this is how Star Wars should be. No, we're taking the fun out of going to the cinema. Okay. We're taking the fun out of watching these shows. Like, we're gonna really sit here and have the conversation that Boba Fett was a serious show. It's that level of good. No, Boba Fett was trash. Obi-Wan was not good, and this show was better than both of those franchises. Than both of those.
I will agree with that. I will agree that this was definitely better than Boba Fett or Obi-Wan. I can concede that.
I think this show, I'm going to tell you, I'm purposely punishing this show more than probably normal because I'm expecting this show. I just watched a Bad Batch, which is definitely targeting kids with a better story.
They literally made this show and sold merchandise to children, and we're trying to make this thing sound like it's
all right, listen.
It's not Star Wars that big of a deal. It is.
I beg to differ. And listen, like I said before, like Star Wars started this whole intellectual property industry. You see, and you can take an intellectual property and have it appeal to different demographics. You know, for example, you have Marvel, okay? And Marvel can clearly have a kid like Avengers show that is for kids, and you can turn your mind off or whatever, okay? And then they have movies like The Winter Soldier, okay? The fact is that Star Wars, okay, is like 50 years old, dude.
Yeah.
Okay? So wait a minute. So what I'm talking about from a entertainment business level here, okay, is that you have people who have spent their entire lives, okay, who have grandchildren now, who they would like to bring into this. And what you're not doing in Star Wars is you're not treating this intellectual property with the care that it needs so that it can appeal to these people in a fashion that everyone will continue to patronize them in a way that they should. Okay? Because grandpa got money. Okay? And why wouldn't you do that? Okay. And when you look at and when you look at the whole first season of Andor, you tell me what kid is interested in that story. Ain't no kid
Andor is
interested in
also
that
one of the
story.
lowest rated live action series that Star Wars has,
It
and I
is
love
the
it. It is
lowest
the
rated.
greatest.
You know how much
It is-
money
it is- it is
Transformers
the
made?
greatest
That doesn't
live action
mean
series
anything.
that they've
It doesn't
they've
mean
made.
anything. That doesn't mean anything.
You just told me this was a business.
Just
You
because
just
you
told me
have
this was a
less
business.
views, does that somehow map to quality in some way, in some form or fashion? Because let me tell you about Transformers movies, okay, that continue to
They're
make
terrible.
mad amounts of loot and are trash, objectively.
Hold on. Let me tell you about
Wait.
the greatest franchise of all
Oh,
time.
I knew you was
Lord.
gonna bring it up.
And the
I knew you was
Furious.
gonna
No,
bring it up.
wait. Before we go on to the Fast and the Furious, can I just say, can I just say, okay, as a fan of the series and someone in the industry, I'm not looking at it from either of those perspectives. They're great. There, I am now listening to you and I am taking in what both of you are saying. But for me, just looking at this one property on its own, the problems that I have are not so much like I have a reverence for Star Wars, or that I was looking for something, even hoping for it to be something else. I literally went in with a blank slate. It was getting so much hate, like Randy said, that I wanted to be open. Where it lost me was kind of like what Travis was saying about who is in control of this property.
Yeah, because
But-
you said they're fundamentally unserious. That's what you were saying. Like this stuff is just straight up objectively stupid. Okay, like you wanted to go home.
Exactly. He wanted to go home. And
Stupid.
therein lies the creator and the writing. I want to know why was this woman, did she have any background in Star Wars? Does she have a connection? Because basically she gave me True Detective meets NCIS. And I don't think we need Star Wars True Detective in space.
But you know what?
And I guess maybe I'm alone, but if you're gonna give me that story, then give me the story.
Boom.
And
Yes.
something
Yes.
to attach to.
Yes.
Because you are so busy trying to drop seeds and sow curiosity and wonder and creep out a little Voldemort character with just his fingers, like, my precious. Like, what are you doing? And then you parade out the back of Yoda's head like I'm supposed to be real happy that you connected it to. We all knew he was still alive. He's 900 years old. We've been asking where the heck is Yoda the whole series. So I just want to get back to, like, for me, it was the story that was lacking, and the way that you not necessarily changed the canon, because I'm okay. When old dude said, the senator said, I think this is a delusional cult, I laughed my ass off because I was like, I can't say he's wrong. They've been stealing people's children.
Right.
They've been stealing people's children without any kind
baby.
of like rhyme or reason, just deciding we're gonna take your force sensitive child and we have the rights. This is within the Jedi right. You're not even in the right district. You are out of your parameters of your oversight. So how you gonna roll in and take my kids? It's stuff like that. You wrote the line in there and then drop kicked it out. Like, why even say it?
What kid knows a delusional cult? What does that mean? You tell it to an 8-year-old, they'll be like, what's that mean?
Like, I guess for me, it was the writing was all over the place. And I was rooting for it because I thought, again, I did enjoy a lot of the fight scenes. I liked Amandla Stenberg. I was looking forward to him, the almost naked scene. I wanted him to stand up and show me a little bit of Star Wars bits. I'm not gonna
Turn into Bridgerton.
You want to see a lightsaber?
You want Star Wars Bridgerton?
I want to ask everyone a question here. Okay, like, in order to be a master Jedi, okay, do you think somewhere on that, like, final exam is stopping multiple projectiles at once?
Yes. That's a
Yes.
flaw. It's a problem. It's a problem. The story is not
But it's
without
so
problems.
in your face, stupid.
Yes.
Okay,
A normal
that
projectile
it's
too.
insulting your intelligence.
So
Yeah.
well, I don't think Saul was a master. Was he
Not
supposed to be a
him.
master?
We're
No.
talking about Adara in the very beginning when she dies.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's why when people were like, I was in on the first episode, not me. I was like, what in the
How she dead?
entire
I was like, she
hell?
dead? I was
Like,
like, how she
you
dead?
killing
That's
Jedi with like
because-
steak knives now?
That's
that what
because
we
y'all
doing?
got used to Sabine surviving.
That's
being
what it is.
stabbed in
That's
the
what
stomach,
that's what's
too.
hot.
So
That's
now
what's
you
hot in
was
the
like,
streets.
Phil was
That's what's hot in the streets.
He's
Stab
what's
his
hot in the
Jedi
street.
telekinetically. That's what's hot.
All
in the
right. All right, hold on. Let me jump in here. I haven't said anything. I've been enjoying this free for all. Like we got a whole script and everything. That shit is out the window.
I
So-
didn't even look at it because I knew
Yeah.
6 people.
I'm looking at
there's no
I'm looking
script.
at it and I was like, yeah, the hell with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here I rated this 3 because it is mid. I have said from jump, and I will shout it to the mountains. Episodes 1 and 2 are the most trash things I have ever seen. I would rather watch Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. At least I got the flashbacks of the Sand People with Boba Fett. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put his ass back in the back of the tank. I could take that all day. You know what I'm saying? It's when he got out the back of the tank, trash.
Trash.
These first 2 episodes, trash. I didn't care about the characters. There was no distinct villain. Everything was wrong, just wrong. It started to pick up interest for me. And again, this is for me. Started to pick up interest around episode 3. I did like the Coven of Witches. And I don't know. I think just my
Did you like that
background-
electric slide that they did?
They had
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
They had
of
such
course
potential.
they wasn't pulling on the, they had too diverse of witches down there. They just, they had one sister who looked like she could throw down electric slide. Everybody else looked like they had 2 left feet.
True that. Yeah, true that.
So my thing was I liked the different perspective that we were getting there. And I felt a visceral emotion when the Jedi rode in there with a no-knock warrant and they just bust up in there like, I felt the police. I'm living in the hometown of Breonna Taylor. I felt some kind of way. Yep. And like you said, I have always had a problem with the way the Jedis just steal children. And here's the thing. I don't know if I rival you, Travis, but I am one of the biggest Star Wars fans out there. And everything from the Legends, the expanded universe. I didn't read it, I didn't seen it, I know it. I ain't Sam Witwer, but I'm pretty tight on my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had a problem with that. I've always had a problem with Space Jesus Anakin. He was the chosen one, yet we forget that he just massacred all the Sand People. No big deal. You know what I'm saying?
The babies.
He slips to the dark side, in
Real
20
easy.
minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the first thing he does is show up to the nearest daycare and kill every damn body.
Everybody.
And everybody's cool with that.
The
He's
baby killer
revered.
saver.
He's Space Jesus. I couldn't stand it. And the best thing that we got out of that was we got Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was revered. You know what I'm saying? That black visage. He was that man. He had the voice of James Earl Jones. And then I feel like I'm doing Chasing Amy right now. Like it's crazy.
Like this
What's the
whole
Nubian?
thing is a Festivus right now.
Yeah.
It's a
So-
straight up Festivus in here, and I'm
Yeah.
loving it. I'm here for all of this.
Yes. So in this particular story, I like the direction. I even like the LA Confidential, the True Detective or whatever. I like that because I just like the fact that especially during the High Republic time, like if you haven't read the High Republic, the graphic novels and the books, the comics and stuff about the High Republic, that's something completely different than the Old Republic, which why they won't make the Old Republic, I won't even get into that. The High Republic, there were A Time of Peace, there were so many Jedi that the hubris was real, that and it makes sense to me that you have, and I don't want to say rogue Jedis, but the fact that George Lucas called them space monks. And I was like, well, shit, I didn't watch enough Kung Fu theater to know that a whole bunch of monks were rogue as hell, and there's no different with the Jedis. You had a whole bunch of dudes, some of them that clearly from this episode too, the people that they wrote out as Jedi Knights, I thought this was Star Trek. I was like, is everybody got a red shirt? We gonna kill everybody on here. I don't know nobody's name. Everybody gonna die. Everybody who wasn't one of the main four or Vanestra, they dead. So I was like, oh, they got all the red shirts out on this episode.
That's
let me
that
just say
impacted
when
me too. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, like, when Yorin died, I didn't care. Was that his name?
Yord,
whatever.
And the
I
other little girl.
did care. I cared a little bit about Jeggy, but she was like Icarus. She flew too close to the sun.
Explain to me how Vader or Obi-Wan can sense someone in
I was saying that the whole
space.
time.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yes.
Me
My whole thing
too.
is this. My whole thing
I
is
was
this.
like, nobody
yet
can sense
I need a
body.
space gerbil to tell me what's what.
It
No,
had
no.
flaws.
How
wait a
are
minute.
they?
me
How
right
are they on the
Many-
planet
many
using metal
flaws.
detectors
Here-
to find a virgin?
And this is what I'm talking about. What
A
I'm
metal
talking
detector.
about is
A
this.
metal
I'm
detector.
saying if you have a fantasy world that you give two shits about, okay, you need rules. Okay, you do. If you don't have these rules, your stories mean fuck all.
Yeah, here's the problem. I think with
the root is that I think rules are very important, and they should be, because it keeps the universe in order. But it depends on the format of the medium that we're talking about.
It does
If
not.
we're talking about contact, gravity, foundation, the expanse, yes, absolutely. You have to abide and stand by these principles of these sci-fi, of the science fiction norms. You have to, because everything falls to pieces. But Star Wars, we're talking about Wookiees and Ewoks. And like there's things that are going to be giving a tremendous amount of grace, because of the franchise that is under. It's Disney. They're not the laws that we're going to stand by with this are not going to hold. And if we expect that for a franchise this big with so many offshoots to hold by the 10 commandments of what Star Wars is, you're going to always be disappointed.
Incorrect.
Always.
Incorrect.
here's
There
one of the
is.
biggest-
What are you talking about, dude? There are literally whole departments inside of Lucas dedicated to that.
the continuity
Then
and canon.
why
Here's-
are the
here's-
sequels
here's-
trash?
I told you.
Wait a minute.
Why
Here's
is
they
Boba Fett
wait a
trash?
don't
minute.
seem to care.
Why is Obi-Wan
Wait a
trash?
minute, here's the
I
problem.
can go on and on.
No, we're not
about
talking
the
about.
levels
No,
of-
there's quality. There's quality. Okay, and then there's continuity. And what I'm saying is that you can make something that could be objectionably like bad quality, as long as you obey the rules of your content and your intellectual property, because that is what gives it power. Okay, it's basically like you take any intellectual property. Let's take Transformers, right? If you take Transformers and you have Bumblebee and you have Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee walks up to Optimus Prime and whoops his country ass, everyone goes, "That's wrong." Why is that? It's because people
Even
get
if it was a
paid to
great
make sure that
scene,
doesn't happen.
Even if it was a great scene, it was a great fight scene, everybody be like, what the hell is this? That would never happen.
Bravo.
RC kills
Right.
Megatron.
Well,
We're not gonna be expecting
here's-
that.
So I can
here's-
see
Okay, but here's-
I love
space.
Star Wars.
Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Huh.
It's not about Star Wars. It's not just about
you are
Star Wars.
going to
It's
be
about
met-
taking an intellectual
every
property that
series
is
going to
huge.
be met with disappointment, because there's no room for slack in this franchise. There's none.
Okay.
Well,
can I be devil's advocate for a
Go
second?
ahead. Go for
Please,
it.
by
Go
all
for it.
means.
Okay.
Go ahead. man.
So you know, I've clearly stated I have some feelings. I do agree with what you both are saying, or with everyone is saying, in terms of like there have been rules that have been set up. Like the one thing that yes, they can jump, maybe in Clone Wars and Ahsoka, you saw Ahsoka on the ship in space, like out there, like fighting folks. In the Clone Wars, you saw Anakin and Obi-Wan like jump from ship to ship, like doing battles and stuff like that. In this one, like Vanestra's ship flew in. I think she and the Jedi had a meeting on the ship to discuss like who was going to take which quadrant, and took forever to come down, and then Saul was dead. So I'm like, why didn't they just jump out the ship? Because you know what's going on. We know we got to hit the ground running, right? But at the same time, here's my devil's advocate. This is a time period. I'm posing a question. Is it possible that this is a time period that, because it hasn't previously been established, that the director chose this particular era to maybe try and establish that these rules, these things that we come to know in future seasons, series, years, centuries from now, are not happening in this time period?
No.
All right, hold on. Let me
No.
jump in there to answer that question. Let me jump in there and answer that
No.
question.
Okay.
Because one of the things that we said when we were reacting to this, me and Trey, is I was said, to your point, Courtney, that this was the perfect place to jump in, because you can do things in here that, as long as you're careful, you will not destroy canon. And they did certain things in here that people are up in arms that destroy canon, but by the time you got to the end of episode 8, it did not destroy canon.
I didn't
That
hate
being-
episode 8. Like, other than I had questions about the Kyber
Well,
crystal and could she do
all
it
I'm
that
Kyber
way?
saying-
crystal bothered me. It bothered me because
You know
this
what
all I-
really, you know what really bothered me?
It's lore about that.
It like really bothered me. Okay. Why do you need to sound like Darth Vader too? Right? Like that really bothered me. It bothered me because I was like, why can't y'all, like, I don't know, think of something? Okay? Like, because when you do that, all it does is take away from the uniqueness of a iconic character. That's all you
Mm.
did. You lessened his value.
And
But they
that
did that in
right
the
there,
See,
but
I
that,
got
that
Kylo
right there,
Ren.
Raven,
He never made
yeah.
it. He never made it to the point of Vader
It's
for
like
me. He was
have an
always Kylo
original.
Ren.
Yeah.
hold on, but that is classic Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? That they say, okay, you loved this character so much, guess what? We're gonna give you something else that's close to that, similar to that,
Yeah.
because we know that you are like this. That is the Hollywood algorithm. And that's
It
why
is
they
the
keep
Hollywood
churning out.
algorithm.
That's why they keep churning out the shit that they churn out.
But in the
Um,
video games, isn't Raven the
I-
same
I
way?
think
He's
we're
got,
done
like,
here
the
then.
voice and the mask.
No,
They have characters
no.
that are derivative of
hey.
Darth Vader.
Okay,
No,
but can
and
I?
if
Okay,
no, but if
hang on.
if
I
that
want to
was,
make one thing clear though. Okay, and I mean this sincerely. Whoever they got to do the fight choreography in this show, please have them on everything else that is Star
Yeah, the
Wars.
fight choreography was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stand
what
up.
I will not take away from this show in any way, shape, or form, okay, was the fights in this were badass.
Badass.
Okay,
They were.
like
Yep.
From the
I
jump.
think I could have had a better one when when he first met all the Jedi. But look, like, and I remember when me and a friend of mine were passing notes back to each other about the show, and he said, I think this show is allergic to cool stuff. Because every time, like, you think, okay, there's going to be something cool, they take it away from you. So, for example, we were like, it's a Wookiee Jedi.
Oh, don't get me
A
started.
Wookiee,
Oh
a
my
Wookiee
God.
Jedi.
Place that.
Oh my
And they didn't
God.
even
But
use
but
it.
but wait,
Naka.
but wait. All I'm saying is that when he first turned up, he's like done. Like, they sliced him in half, and we were like, yo, what up? Right. And I thought in my soul, damn it, Star Wars, you did it to me again. And then,
Mhm.
you hurt me again. But then at least we got to see that Wookiee house people in a later episode. And that's really all I wanted. Okay. I
But it
wanted
wasn't even
you
him.
Ask
to
for Kai
have my
Doesn't matter.
space monkey go completely ape on somebody, and I
Yeah.
was
I
like,
know.
okay, I got
And
at
but-
least
Hey,
that.
But
Y'all-
she took
y'all-
his mind over, like it wasn't even him.
Yeah.
Like
But I don't
that was the
care.
part
Like,
that
you
you
know,
know,
he
there's
whooped
something.
ass.
It
There
didn't
was
matter.
something
Whooped him
base in
ass.
me. There was something base in me that said,
Yeah.
please let this Wookiee smack the crap out of somebody up in
I feel
here.
that.
Oh, y'all killed him. And then, nah, the Wookiee came out. And you know, I gotta say that, you know, it was trending. Like I might lower my score. I'm not really sure. But what I am sure of is that I gotta give at least props for the space monkey with a lightsaber. House
Oh,
people.
Hey,
Like,
yeah.
hey,
I
Yeah.
go ahead,
Oh.
Courtney. Go ahead. I'll come
I
back
the
to
one
you.
thing that there were a couple of things that I really like. And y'all can jump on me if you want. When he pulled out the little bitty part
That
of
was
his
dope.
Yeah, that was
lightsaber,
dope.
that was dope. And when he
Yeah.
took
Now-
both of those lightsabers and they flew at like
yeah, it's cool.
that
Now,
was hot.
here's-
That was really
it
hot.
was
And
very
I was
Now, I
Japanese,
will
too.
say-
rooting for
Yeah.
him.
I
was
will say
terrible.
that
I was
as-
rooting for him.
As dope as I thought that was, I will say that's when the inner Star Wars nerd in me came out. And I was like, wait a minute. Now, how you do that? Is there a separate crystal in each lightsaber? I was that dude. I was
Yeah.
like, well,
That's
wait
how
a
I
minute.
took it.
How the
Yeah.
hell?
Okay.
How the hell
What?
he get a lightsaber Tonto? Do they got two separate crystals in them? Like I
Yeah.
became that dude.
Yeah.
I say
It
yes.
was
They have
dope.
two
That same
separate
I say
thing.
crystals.
yes.
He has two
Yeah.
crystals.
But I
say
but
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're guessing, and it doesn't seem like it should be there. But I mean, of course, they in here making up all types of shit. They
No.
just doing whatever.
No,
So
no.
you
Why
know,
couldn't they
That
just
is
have
known.
two crystals?
That is known. That's known. That's actually in the Wikipedia as well. That's
And the
known.
armor that breaks the
Really?
lightsaber, that's
yeah,
known.
but that doesn't mean
Dope.
anything
I love
because the
that.
Wikipedia
That was kinda
that
cool.
doesn't
The
mean anything
Yeah.
because
whip
That was
was
kinda
hot.
cool.
Wikipedia
Yeah.
And him using
the
the bracelet
Wikipedia
as
is
a way of
Wikipedia.
what did they
No, it's
call
The
not.
what's that group of
cortosis.
people?
It's cortosis.
The cortosis.
No, Wikipedia is
that-
not Wikipedia. You can submit a change for Star Wars, but Lucas has to approve it.
No, but that's
They-
what I'm saying. They got people at Wikipedia, the Lucasfilms, that will change that shit today.
Yeah,
They
they will.
will. They will. But
Yeah,
that's
they'll change
that's
it
the
on-
department Travis is talking about that runs all of this.
Yeah.
They
And-
are the ones that keep all the lore. They actually hire people, pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep all the lore straight.
No,
So
and
they
I-
all of
I get
those
that.
things I thought were
Oh,
really
it's
cool.
straight.
They don't have
fucking
anybody
series
coming in.
Don't
and
nobody
change it.
pay attention.
No, I get that.
You know,
I get that.
and
Yeah.
and I gotta, you know, this is important. I remember working at Warner Brothers and them not caring about DC Comics. And so that's why all those movies were just terrible. Okay, because they would hire a director based on some stuff that they did in some other universe or something like that, and then just gave them the keys to the car and told them to drive them like you stole it, you know, and that's why you had all of those bad DC movies,
Mm.
really. Okay, but you have someone like Feige, okay, who runs Marvel the way it should be run because you know he cares. Okay, do I think Kathleen Kennedy cares? Or you know,
about getting that money.
it doesn't look that way.
She
It
should be
doesn't.
firing people right now.
You know, it just doesn't
She
look
should be
that.
firing people.
And it shows in the end product, you know, because at some point someone needs to, you know, to be held accountable for just how trash like this continuity is.
But also, Randy brought us something really good in the conversation today because he talked me off the cliff too. He said maybe this is why they gave it to Filoni over Favreau. Because Favreau might have hired this woman to write it, and it was the train was going too far for her then to pull it off the tracks. They're like, okay, we'll just go and give her a chance, see what happens.
I didn't look. Is Favreau involved though with this?
No, not in this one, but this is after they pulled him off. But maybe this might have been his last project or something.
Okay, because this doesn't
Star Wars has
smell
been
like him.
disappointed. It doesn't, but Star Wars has been disappointed with his output. You know, overall, in comparison to Filoni, disappointed in
Yeah.
comparison to Filoni because Filoni crushed it in all his animated properties,
Yeah.
right?
And
So-
the Mandalorian.
But this one thing that bothered me in this, right? We know in episode 1 they haven't seen a Sith in 100 years. And Kamir comes out and they ask, "What's your name?" So asking, "What's your name?" He said, "Don't worry about my name. I'm a Sith." And they
No,
didn't know
he
what a
doesn't.
Sith.
No, he doesn't say.
No, he
didn't say
doesn't.
that.
He doesn't say that.
he's
He
He said
doesn't say he's a Sith.
no. He said no. He said you
might.
might
Call
refer
me
to me
Sith.
as a Sith, as a Sith.
Yes.
He didn't say he's a Sith.
But
As a matter of fact, at the end of that episode, they start playing the Knights of Ren music,
yes, they did.
and that's why I thought he was gonna be like an early Ren, and then they threw in Plagueis and shit, and I was like, what the
Yes.
shit?
It had to be Plagueis. It has to
Exactly.
be because of the
Exactly.
It
timeline.
does
And
not
he's
have to be.
And he's
It has
hiding
to
in
be.
a cave.
It's only
No,
100
it
years
doesn't.
before the it's only 100
Yes.
years before
No,
episode
but-
1. So
But you're
Plagueis would be-
contradicting what you said earlier, Randy. There are more than just the Jedi and the Sith out there.
No, but
And that's
if
why
it
when
was
he
Sith-
said, you might call me a Sith, there are
Yes.
more. There's, you know what I'm saying? Just like the witches
No, they're
themselves are
not more than
considered dark,
Sith. There's
dark
two
users.
Siths.
If,
two
yeah,
steps.
if
There's
if
the-
he,
No,
if
I
he-
know the
yeah,
rule
if-
of two. I'm not saying that this goes against the rule of
But
two.
I'm saying
I
if
know
it's
that.
Sith, it has to be Plagueis because we're
Yes.
only 100 years before. So it would have been Plagueis.
Yes.
And
And
then
someone
No,
else.
Plagueis-
what
and what
I'm
trips me
saying
out
is
is-
that he may have been a dark force user and
No,
may
he
not
could
have
have
been
been
a
that.
Sith
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's-
saying.
fact
Just
he
like
said
just like they
Sith.
consider the witches dark
No, that's
force
true. That's-
users, but they're
the whole
not
thing is
Sith.
this.
No,
He
that's
told
true. That's
Saul,
true.
I am Sith. Took
If-
down 12
No.
of your people.
He didn't say.
I
he
would
said-
I would like
No,
to
he
point
didn't
out.
say that.
I would
He
like
said,
to
refer
point out
to me
how
as a Sith. I'm
you
like a
guys
Sith.
are taking Sid continuity and using it as a basis for your arguments.
Mhm.
And what I've been sitting here telling you is that Lucas seems to not give a goddamn about continuity.
Even if you use that
And
word
I'm sitting
Sith,
here watching y'all using these bumper cars of rules, and I don't see a happy face in the building.
Well,
I
did you
enjoyed
miss
the-
my whole
I-
Wookiee comment?
I was just saying.
Well,
I enjoyed the
Can
cortosis.
I
cortosis.
enjoyed a whole lot.
What is cortosis?
It's the
That's the
metal
arm,
used
the
to cut
metal-
off lightsabers.
Yeah, the armor.
It disrupts
Oh,
the
right, right,
it disrupts
right.
lightsaber
Yeah.
blades.
So
Right.
the thing
Oh,
about
yeah,
or
yeah,
energy,
yeah.
well,
About-
any energy weapon,
Yeah.
And it
Yes,
also
but it's
makes you
not-
breathe like Darth Vader.
Yes.
I
And it
did
also
But
gives you
like.
Cort-
deprivation to go to the dark side.
Cortosis comes out of the expanded universe.
Mhm.
So it's been in the books and stuff like that. But cortosis is not good long term, so you
Right.
can't use
Yeah.
it against like energy, like blasters.
That's
But
why.
against-
That's why his bracelet broke.
Yeah.
This is a
like
this
even the
conversation is losing me because I didn't read all the
Yeah.
books and stuff like
Courtney,
that. I
and that
didn't
is
do
the
all of
reason why
that.
this billion-dollar company is saying we have to chill out for the other people that don't know all of this lore. We have to be able to explain this
You
story.
know,
I
once
disagree.
again,
Fallout
you are
didn't do
shockingly
it.
Just
incorrect.
telling you.
Fallout
You're
didn't
shockingly
do it.
incorrect. And what
And
I'm
shocked-
telling you is
there's a
that
reason why Marvel is falling off the rails because nobody wants to watch 65 movies or however many it is in order.
Listen. Okay, let me explain something to you.
Please explain
When
it
you
to me.
have when you have these rules,
Mhm.
okay, it's actually a shortcut. Okay, it is, because what happens is that these rules will write a script for you. Okay, because I can tell you that this person has on this and this and this and this, and you can tell me this and this and this person has on this. They go a few rounds, and all of a sudden, from a continuity standpoint, something should break. And you know what? All the end user, the person enjoying this, knows is that something broke. Okay. All the other people, the people who pay $5,000 to like live in your hotel or give you like thousands of dollars every year, those people will be like, aha. Okay. And that's how you keep making billions of dollars. You don't do it by wild assing.
Okay.
Can I say something that I liked?
Go ahead. Talk to us what
Yes,
you like, Courtney. Tell us what
absolutely.
you like, Courtney.
I really liked Jodie Turner-Smith as
Absolutely.
Mother
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Oh,
Yes.
she
I
killed it.
thought
She ate.
that what
She
she
ate.
did, she ate
She ate.
everything. And
Yeah.
I do feel like I didn't get enough of her. I didn't get enough of her story. I didn't get enough of like you drop down the word virgins. You drop down you are one soul in two bodies. You drop down all these things, and I was missing like that second flashback episode 7. I think that had that been showcasing the virgins that it created, Osha and May, Like, that's, for me, had I been given something about that, it would have carried me at least into episode 8, because they're holding on to all this information. I didn't really understand like why they left May behind or any of that stuff. But Mother Anastasia, and even the mother who was
Coral.
the Mother Coral, who was like the Savage Opress, the two of them were incredible, and I wanted more of them. I actually really liked the Witches Coven. And I think that it was like they could give me a whole series about just the witches, you
Well,
If
know.
they, as long as
Corbin
they
had
didn't
to
do
go
that
get some
dance.
space tail
And here,
back at
just
the
to
main temple.
Oh God.
just
Kill them all.
just to your point, Courtney, one of the weakest aspects of this entire series is story. I think that actually, Trey and I talk about it all the time. The two things that make anything is story and your villain, and these kind of things. I think that we were strong in our villain, that Kamir, the stranger, the master, whatever you call him, that he was a pretty nice villain. And even I enjoyed the turn by Osha. I kind of I didn't really call it at the beginning, but at the very
Yeah.
beginning, I was like, if this is called the Acolyte and we're following a dark side Acolyte, why the hell are we following Osha? Like, if that's the case, we should be following May. But it comes back to we were following the right
I
person
knew
all
that from
along.
the beginning. From the
Yeah,
beginning, I
but
knew she
it
was
was
gonna
a
turn.
well, I mean, I called it early too, and I was like, yeah, she needs to turn or what. I didn't really see May switching sides, but I saw that Osha, maybe going that side. But the story was weak, and the thing is, the not the strength, the weakness of the writers. They couldn't explain the verges. They couldn't do all this stuff because you already talked about they've done enough to crack canon and stuff and have people question everything they did. And a lot of questionable shit in here, like so much questionable stuff in here. For them to come out with a definitive, this is this, oh, hell no. They would have stormed Lucasfilms, Disney, and burned that shit to the ground yesterday. No, they couldn't. They couldn't explain. So she had to leave it more ambiguous, just because. You know what I'm saying? The thing that was one, to not crack canon. So you can take from there that you can stretch out and maybe make the connections yourself. That maybe Plagueis saw saw the twins. He was on the planet. He saw the virgins. Maybe that's how him and Sidious put together a plan to come up with Space Jesus Anakin. Who knows? But they had to leave it more open than trying to fill that in. It's just it's bad story writing.
So the last thing I'll say is that if you wanted Star Wars True Detective, then you really should have hired the director and creator of True Detective to be your director.
You should,
because
I don't disagree there.
I mean, if that's what you wanted, then at least, because at the end of True Detective, you at least get an answer. It may not be the one you want, but you at least get an answer.
But do we need answers to everything? I thought that's what we always talk about, is with
to
the
make
Force.
me want to come back to season 2. I need something. I don't need a whole answer.
You
but
thought
I need
Plagueis hiding around
Courtney
around the
said,
back
I'm
of the
leaving here with
cave.
something.
I'm leaving here with something. She go dead zealot. I'm leaving here with something.
I feel like ambiguity is fine in Star Wars.
I don't know. I just think that where it ended, and like I was telling Trey when we were doing the reaction, I was like, yeah, this is the swan song. This is a wrap for this, and it wasn't so much about all the hate and vitriol and people coming against the woke agenda of Disney or whatever. It didn't make a strong enough presentation to engender hey, let's do a season 2 of this. If they want to do a graphic novel, write a book or something, all right, knock yourself out. Tell us the story of Osha in written form. But to put another show and put another $200,000 up for 200 million or how much they spend on these shows, $200,000 is probably better what they should have spent, except for the choreography. Choreography is bomb. And then some of the little Easter eggs was cool too. But does anybody actually, I mean, I don't have to ask Travis, I already know. Does anybody besides Travis want a season 2 of this?
It's happening.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen right now.
Oh no.
What?
Right now, it's
No.
green. It's not greenlit, but it's in discussions. It's gonna happen. So
Well,
You
you
don't
know
have
what?
a you don't
Anybody
you don't
see
have
the
a you don't have a Yoda head at the end of this and not have it.
I have a season 2.
It's
They've already been talking about this.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
You got to be kidding me.
They got Plagueis. They tease Plagueis
I say
and Yoda.
Plagueis. I
Yeah,
would be
this is gonna
interested in learning
happen.
about.
Yes, it's
So,
gonna happen.
I mean,
Interested in seeing
I-
Plagueis.
It may not be the Acolyte. It may bleed into another named series. It
No,
may
they're
be
gonna call it the
something else.
Acolyte because it continues of the twins. Because you got to do something with them.
And if
Mhm.
Plagueis becomes their master,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Because
no.
Khmer is a Sith. You guys, he is a Sith. He's documented.
I
as
did
Sith.
like Khmer. I thought the actor
And he
that played
did a
Khmer
great
did a
job.
great
Yeah.
job.
He
Yeah,
did.
He was
Manny
wonderful.
Jacinto was great.
and so
He
he
was
would
great.
be about
He's
40 years, and he's a
compelling.
little old because I would imagine
Yes.
Palpatine is going to be Palpatine's like 60
Yeah.
when we meet him, right?
Yeah.
So this is about 40 years before.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. I say,
Um,
guys, let's close because we got some hard outs here.
yeah.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's rewrite this real quickly. No explanation, just rewrite it. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna stay at 3. I still think this was mid. There were things I liked,
You
but
said no explanations.
No explanation. No
I know.
explanation.
Listen to me. Don't even follow my own damn rules. All right, 3.
Who you going to next? You got to pull one of them.
All right, listen. At this point, yeah, just Travis. He got a heart out.
A 3.
Standing
And
at
All
I'll
right.
just say I don't begrudge everybody's scores. I mean, if you got something out of the great, Chuck.
I am going to stick at a 2 still. It does not go up for me. I got so many issues with it. Courtney,
I'm gonna say it a 2.
All
I'm
right.
going full binge out. No, I'm just joking. I'm
Yeah.
you're gonna
Oh,
bring.
You saying that for me?
I'll stay at
All
4
right, and Trey.
I was entertained. It's still a 3 though.
All right, so we didn't move the needle at all. So we
Yeah.
we rounded
Uh-huh.
up to a 3 for mini meal.
Which is I think
All right.
about right.
That's about right.
I'm
All
good
right.
with that.
Yep.
I do want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. It's a little weird for us to work a large cast like this. Thank you so much for showing up, Travis. I hope that you show up to more stuff, maybe
Now
even
we're-
when you have a little bit more time. To
Yeah.
Rodney, the greatest technical producer in the land. Shout out to Crystal and Digital Click. If you need anything for your digital marketing needs, they got you. Next week, we are covering, what are we covering?
The boys, right?
Is it The Boys? Yeah, it is The Boys.
Mhm.
Ooh,
So The Boys season 4 next week.
You want to come on for that too,
I
Travis?
just might.
Yeah, come
Okay.
on, because I
Please.
won't
Yeah.
be here.
Come on.
Hey,
I'll
hey,
be at Comic-Con, so
Yeah.
hey, Travis,
we'll figure it out.
I need somebody to swing back at me, man. So please come back.
All right, we'll figure it
Please.
out.
Yeah, this is dope. I loved it. So everyone, we'll see you next week. And listen, you heard me last week for Implore. 5 more. We need 5 more subscribers to get to 1,000. So
on,
share
you
this
guys.
post. Tell everyone.
That
You know what
part.
I'm saying? Listen to us argue for an hour and we have fun doing it. Nobody,
sir.
we all smiles, nobody going away. We not mad at each other. It's all love.
No assassination attempts.
Who ain't?
No
I want
fake
it all.
fake attempts.
I wanted all
rub,
this.
I rub
I wanted
ketchup
all
on my
this
ear like the
smoke.
best of them.
Yeah, I wanted all this smoke, but y'all were nicer than I thought y'all were gonna be.
Sorry to disappoint.
I don't know. I love Travis being on here. He's
Me
just,
too.
y'all
Come back
are
and play,
wrong as hell.
Please, please.
All right.
He said,
please
y'all
come
are
back,
wrong.
man.
Hell no, y'all wrong.
No,
You wrong.
no, we.
I love it. All right. Y'all, peace.
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 geek out and good night.